Hey, what's up, guys? How you doing? So I've been contemplating about this for a long time now, and dynamic tone mapping. It's something that's included on the 8 series, and what it basically does, it brightens up the HDR picture. But is that sometimes a good thing, or is that sometimes a bad thing? Well, I use the word sometimes because there's certain content that will require that little extra peak brightness. But I don't know. Actually, I've been watching some HDR. This is an HDR footage that is just sitting like that. Um, I don't know, man. I been kind of contemplating about this. I think when I have this dynamic tone mapping turned on, I feel that my white digital levels are being clipped. It's just, yes, it's bright. Don't get me wrong, and the HDR needs the peak brightness. But I just feel that it's too bright sometimes. I feel turning this off gives me a more natural picture. Now, this is just my opinion. Everybody's entitled to their opinions. I'm not saying that I'm right, okay? This is just a preference. This is just my own preference and my own opinion. I'm not saying that this doesn't help. Sure, dynamic tone mapping, DTM definitely helps because the OLED needs that peak brightness. My whole point here is, do you really need it that badly? And I don't know. I Now, if you turn it off, some people will say, well, then you are dimming down your HDR. You're not helping out the picture quality. Okay, maybe that I can see a point on that, sure, because the HDR does require uh, peak brightness, and the OLED needs the peak brightness. I'm not saying that it doesn't, but I also feel that you're a little bit losing on the black digital levels because it's overbrighting even the black digital levels when it's doing this. I just feel turning it off gives me a much better detail. And I think you can see it on the covers. You see these covers right here? When you turn it on, it kind of overbrights it too much. When you turn it off, it becomes kind of natural. The shadows here, they become more balanced and natural. When I turn it back on, I just feel that it's too overbright. So I'm not here to tell you to turn it off. And I know this video will be controversial. Some people will say, oh, you think you know everything. I'm not saying that I know everything, nor am I claiming that I know everything. I'm just simply telling you how I feel. I just feel, to me personally, that turning the dynamic tone mapping, I get a much more better picture quality on the HDR. That's just that's just my opinion. That's just how I feel. But I would like to hear what you guys have to say. How do you feel? What are your opinion about this? Here, dynamic tone mapping, it's off. And I don't know, man. It's just looking at the New York City right now, the clouds, the depth of picture, the distance, everything looks more three-dimensional. It looks more natural. Remember, I'm always looking for that natural picture quality. And when I turn the dynamic tone mapping, don't get me wrong. Sure, it looks brighter, but I also feel that you sacrifice on the black digital levels. On the digital black levels, you overbright the digital black levels when you do that, when you turn it back on. That's just the way I feel. When I turn it off, I feel that it looks more natural and balanced. And it might be difficult for you to see this through a camera, but you'll just have to take my word on it that it looks better, at least to me. But let me know what you guys think. Do you think dynamic tone mapping it's necessary on the HDR, or should you turn it off? I would like to hear what you guys have to say. What are your thoughts and opinions about this? So let me know what you think. Thank you for watching this video. Cheers.